Yo, what up, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with the week one. I don't know why I just snapped there, but my week one of college football recap video. First of all, I'd like to say that there are still a few games going on, but I'm getting really tired, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this video. There's like I think only two or three games still going on. Uh, Most notably right now is the Oklahoma UTEP game, which is tied up right now 7-7. So this is when I'm making this video, and Oregon's beating Arkansas State 50-3 in this midway through the second quarter. So that's pretty ridiculous. But I'm gonna just recap all the games, not all of them. Well, I might say a sentence or two about them, but there's too many to put my full analysis into all of them. But I'm just gonna say a little bit about each game. There's actually a bunch of games, six games going on right now. That's Tennessee Martin is beating Memphis 14-10. I don't know why that game's still going on, man. It was going on earlier today. I don't know if it was I don't know what happened there. This game was going on like 6 or 7 hours ago, but Tennessee Martin is beating Memphis 14-10. It seems like a bunch of FBS schools really challenged, or FCS schools really challenged FBS schools this week, and some won, and some were really surprised, and some came very close. But it seems like a lot of FCS schools were really surprising this week. So props to all the FCS schools out there. I know week one they're always ready to play the bigger schools, and the bigger schools are always kind of, I guess, not really as amped up as they would be if they were playing a bigger school like a Alabama or Michigan, but I guess when they play those FCS type of schools, it's kind of two different. It's kind of like opposites. One team's like so ready to get a piece of the other team, while the other team's just like, this is an easy win. So maybe that's something to do with it. But I've never really seen a year where FCS teams really competed with the schools like they have this year. But Tennessee Martin has beaten Memphis 14-10. Granted, it is Memphis, but they're still an FBS school and should beat a team like Tennessee Martin. Weber State is down by 14 against Fresno State in the third quarter. Toledo is beating Arizona 14-10. Washington is beating San Diego State at halftime 14-6. Like I said, Oregon's winning 50-3, and I already said about the Oklahoma UTEP game. Notre Dame beat Navy 50-10 this morning. Very impressed with Everett Golson and the Irish. They played great defense. The running backs looked really great, and Everett Golson looks like a really good quarterback that I think will start from now on for the rest of the year. So they got the victory 50-10. Troy beat UAB 39-29. They went out to a 17-0 lead, but UAB came roaring back in the second half. But Troy won 39-29. Georgia kind of struggled with Buffalo a little bit. They won 45-23, but at one point, near in the second half, or the end of the first half rather, it was a one-possession game, and Buffalo should have been winning the game going into halftime because their kicker missed, I don't even know how many field goals. It wasn't for the kickers. That hurt a lot of smaller teams today. It was the special teams, particularly the field goal, missing field goals. A lot of FBS or FCS schools or lower schools or whatever you want to call them missed a lot of field goals today that could have propelled them to a victory, but I don't know. It seems today was weird with all that I was talking about. It was a weird day. But Georgia did win 45-23. Their defense really struggled, probably because of all the suspensions. But still, you shouldn't give up that many points and yards to Buffalo. East Carolina beat Appalachian State 35-13. Appalachian State was winning this game. Gave East Carolina all they could handle, but East Carolina did pull away in the second half. It was 14-10 going into halftime. Northwestern and Syracuse. Northwestern wins 42-41. Northwestern actually got pretty lucky because their last drive, their game-winning drive, was extended by a unnecessary roughness call. It shouldn't have been called, but it was. It is what it is, and they won. So not too much you can say about that. Their quarterback came in and the fourth quarter specialist, like they call him, came in and led the game-winning drive. So props to him and props to Northwestern. This game, I had Northwestern winning close, but I didn't think it was going to be this big. I think I said like 20-17 Northwestern, so this is pretty surprising. Ohio State beats Miami of Ohio 56-10. Ohio State was really struggling in the first quarter and in the beginning of the second quarter, but it's all of a sudden Braxton Miller went crazy after that insane touchdown catch. They just went on a route and won 56-10. And I got the Ohio Penn State game right. I said Ohio was gonna win. I forget the score I said, but not really surprising to me. Ohio played really good. I won't be surprised if Ohio runs the table now. Their quarterback Tyler Pendleton, I think his name is, played really, really great, and their schedule really sets up well for them. They have this one win that they could base their season around against Penn State, even though you know the deal with Penn State. But still, when you have a win against a big time school like they do against Penn State, and if you go undefeated, you could be looking at a team that's looking for BCS bowl berth. So, looking out for Ohio for the rest of the year. They beat Penn State 24-14. I really was impressed though with Penn State. They really executed on offense, but turnovers really killed them when their running back was out of the game, got hurt. That really just completely shut them down, and they really don't have any playmakers. But if somehow if they do find a playmaker or two over the next 4 years, that offense with Bill O'Brien can really, really be effective. And I was really impressed with how they started out the game. Not necessarily how they finished, but they started out the game very well. Very well. I said real. West Virginia, oh my God, their offense was scary good. They beat Marshall 69-34. Yes, their defense needs improvement, but Geno Smith had a Heisman caliber game. He kind of set the tone for his Heisman campaign season, so to speak. But West Virginia was one of the few teams this week that I was impressed with. Their offense is going to be unstoppable this year. Illinois had no problem with Western Michigan, won 24-7. Nathan Shieldhouse says he was injured. I don't know if he was injured or not. Well, I mean, obviously he was injured, but I don't know how serious it was. But he started out the game really strong, and their season really depends on him because he has potential to be a really, really good quarterback. But so he struggled last year at sometimes. Sometimes he shined, but it depends really. Their season can go down. Well, I want to look up really fast, like what this injury, because I'm gonna be kind of sad if he's hurt for a while. Insane. I guess it's not too serious. I guess he was just out for the game, but they won 24-7, like I said. North Carolina shuts out Elon 62-0. My local team, South Alabama, loses in a heartbreaker in their first game as an FBS team, 31-33 against Texas San Antonio. Texas San Antonio's kicker kicks a 50-yard field goal with like 20 seconds left in the game to give them the 2-point lead. So South Alabama played them tough, but it is what it is. Air Force beats Idaho State 49-21. Nevada upsets California or Cal 31-24. Cal's really had problems playing against the pistol. I think last time they played Nevada they lost to, so I don't know why they'd schedule Nevada when they know they give them trouble when they lose to them. Maryland was getting shut out by William and Mary at halftime, and somehow finds a way to score in the fourth quarter to beat William and Mary. All powerful William and Mary 7-6. Perry Hill, their quarterback, who's trying to step in for C.J. Brown, who's injured for the year, he was terrible. I think he threw 3 or 4 picks this game, and they're lucky they won this game, and that's really embarrassing, honestly. Virginia beats their head coach Mike London's alma mater, and the last school that he coached, Richmond, 43-19. Florida, oh goodness, they did not impress me at all. They beat Bowling Green 27-14. Bowling Green was another team to miss a lot of field goals, and they could have been beating Florida going into halftime, or at least tied with Florida going into halftime. But they really struggled, and I don't really understand Will Muschamp's approach to all this QB situation, because I think Jacoby Brissett's a better quarterback than Jeff Driscoll is, and Jacoby Brissett did not get a fair chance in this game. He gave Jeff Driscoll all the chances to win the starting job. So if I was Jacoby Brissett, I'd be really upset with what's going on. If Jeff Driscoll gets named the starter after that, I would be very, very mad if I was Jacoby Brissett, and I would probably consider transferring and trying to prove the Florida coaching staff what I can do, just like Cam Newton ended up doing. And you see how that ended up for Florida. Iowa State holds off Tulsa, wins 38-23. Miami, after a slow start, comes back and beats Boston College 41-32. Nebraska beats Southern Miss 49-20. Taylor Martinez had a career game. I think he threw for over 350 yards, so props to Taylor Martinez. Rex Burkhead got injured in this game. I heard it was a sprained MCL. That could be a game to game. Well, he might miss a few games, but their backup Abdullah was really good. So I mean, you don't want Rex Burkhead hurt, but I mean, when you have a guy like Abdullah to step in, I mean, it's not that much of a killer to your team. Wisconsin, oh my goodness, comes close to losing to Northern Iowa. They beat them 26-21, but with a late rally by Northern Iowa, they went for it on 4th down, and it was a stupid play call, but they came this close to beating Wisconsin. This is one of the close FCS games I was talking about. Wisconsin's really going to miss Russell Wilson. I mean, Danny O'Brien didn't have a bad game. Monte Ball kind of disappointed, especially against a defense like Northern Iowa. He should have gone off, but I think he only had like $120. So, and Iowa barely beats Northern Illinois at Soldier Field 18-17. They had to come back and score 9 points in the 4th quarter to win this game. Purdue wins 48-6 against Eastern Kentucky. In Jim McElwain's first game as head coach of Colorado State, they win 22-17. New Mexico beats Southern 66-21. Florida State absolutely crushes Murray State 69-3. I guess their football team isn't near as good as their basketball team was. Wake Forest holds off Liberty. This is another game I was talking about. 20-17, close game. Wake Forest had to score 6 points in the 4th quarter to win this game. And Youngstown State spoils Paul Chryst debuted as head coach of Pittsburgh, and they beat Pittsburgh by 2 touchdowns, and that's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. That's definitely not the way you want to start off as a FBS school. Clemson beats Auburn 26-19. Andre Ellington had a huge game, 231 yards. Taj Boyd had a pretty good game. He found DeAndre Hopkins. I want to see Clemson how they do this year with Sammy Watkins when he comes back from a suspension, because they could be a scary good team. Their defense, I mean, I guess they played all right, but I mean, you can't really judge that well playing against Auburn in their first game in years as a traditional pro style team with Kyle Frazier at quarterback. Kyle Frazier kind of struggled. I think he completed under 50% of his passes. So Clemson will be a fun team to watch. Arkansas beats Jacksonville State 49-24. I think Jacksonville State was tied up with Arkansas midway through the 2nd quarter, and then Tyler Wilson and Arkansas just goes off. But I'd be kind of concerned if I was a Hog fan about that defense giving up 24 points to Jacksonville State. South Florida holds off Chattanooga and wins 34-13. Western Kentucky blows out Austin Peay 49-10. LSU beats North Texas 41-14. That kind of gives me hope as an Alabama fan, because I've been scared about LSU ever since the national championship game, after the national championship game, because I thought they're going to be unbeatable this year. But they beat North Texas 41-14 at home. We beat the number 8 team in the country 41-14 at a neutral site, so that kind of gives me hope. Missouri represent the SEC, beating Southeast Louisiana 62-10. Ole Miss had a scare against Central Arkansas, but wins 49-27. Duke beats Florida International 46-26. I was kind of nervous about that pick. I picked Duke. I was kind of scared Florida International would upset Duke, but Duke held them off. And oh my God, Oklahoma State beats Savannah State 84-0. Oh my God, the first 5 carries by Oklahoma State were all touchdowns. I don't even talk about that. Louisiana Lafayette beats Lamar 40-0. Mississippi State beats Jackson State 56-9. Kansas, I thought this would be a really tough game for Kansas. I don't think I predicted this, but I didn't really comprehend this. But South Dakota State was the FCS champions last year, and Kansas has really struggled. And Charlie Weiss, this is his first game as head coach of Kansas. If I would have actually thought about predicting this game, I probably honestly would have predicted an upset by South Dakota State, but props to Kansas. They've been, hopefully, I like Kansas as a program. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more successful than they've been the last year or two under Turner Gill with Charlie Weiss. But yeah, props to Kansas for winning this game 31-17. Texas Tech beats Northwestern State 44-6. Kansas was struggling against Missouri State, but they ended up winning 51-9. It wasn't that much of a blowout, but they did score 35 points in the fourth quarter. So if you take away that fourth quarter, what is it? It would be is that 16-9? So it's kind of a weird score. USC has no problem with Hawaii, wins 49-10. First pass of the season, Matt Barkley goes for a touchdown. Indiana holds off rival Indiana State 24-17. It was I think it was 17-10 going into half. Now that's another game I was talking about. Kind of surprising. And here's another surprising game. Texas State in their first game as FBS school beats Houston 30-13. Houston obviously really misses Case Keenum as their quarterback, so that really surprised me. And Texas was struggling against Wyoming early, but wins 37-17. Alabama beats Michigan 41-14. I'm not gonna do a recap. Just go watch my recap video on my channel. I already did a full game recap of this. Rutgers holds off Tulane 24-12. And that is all the Saturday games. South Carolina, like you know, beat Vanderbilt 17-13 after that controversial non-call on a pass interference. UCF blows out Akron 56-14. Central Michigan holds off Southeast Missouri State 38-37. Ball State wins 37-26. Kent State, after that embarrassing backwards or wrong way run by their punt team, they win 41-21. Connecticut in Massachusetts' first game as an FBS team, Massachusetts shuts them out 37-0. UCLA handles Rice 49-24. Mid Tennessee loses to McNeese State at FCS school, which should not happen, 27-21. It's gonna hurry. BYU absolutely crushed Washington State. I was really surprised by this. I predicted Washington State to win. Props to BYU. They look like they're gonna be a really good team this year. And hopefully Mike Leach. I'm a fan of Mike Leach's, so hopefully his team gets better throughout this year. Minnesota holds off UNLV in triple overtime, wins 30-27. Sorry. 2 more games or 3 more games to talk about. North Carolina State disappoints me and loses Tennessee, but Tyler Bray looked really good. So props to Tennessee. I thought they were going to struggle because North Carolina State has I thought the best secondary in the country, and they still may, but they struggled in this game. But Tennessee won 35-21. Florida Atlantic beats Wagner 7-3. Wow. Michigan State holds off Boise State 17-13. Michigan State didn't look that impressive really, and like I said, you never can look down on Boise no matter who they have to replace. As long as Chris Peterson is the head coach, they're going to play you tough. The last game I'm going to talk about, Stanford avoids the upset against San Jose State. Stanford wins 20-7. And Stanford obviously is really going to miss Andrew Luck. And I kind of figured stuff like this would happen. Because if you look at my top 25 poll, I do not include Stanford at all. I just don't see Stanford being really successful this year at all, and that kind of backs up my claim there. So that's been my week 1 college football recap video. Not next week. I'll start my NFL recap videos on Sundays because I'll be in Nashville for the Titans' first game. So my full schedule thing will go into effect 2 weeks from now. So yeah. I'll see you guys probably in a few days for a video. See you later. And as always, roll Tide, go Sox, and go Titans. I'll see you later.